Look around you. 8 billion souls on this tiny blue planet. Out of them, 70%, that's over 5.5 billion people, believe in a God, a higher power, a divine story. There are 2.5 billion Christians, 2 billion Muslims, 1.6 billion Hindus, 20 million Jews, and about 1 billion agnostics wondering what's true. The rest? Sikhs, Buddhists, and others, each with their own sacred tales. But here's the question that haunts us. Why do we believe? And why, despite all our faith, does science keep rewriting our story? This is a journey, a clash of heart and mind, religion and science. Let's dive in. Imagine a stadium, fill it with 100 people. 70 of them will tell you they believe in God, some with crosses, some with crescents, others with sacred threads. The numbers are staggering. 2.5 billion Christians praying to Jesus, 2 billion Muslims bowing to Allah, 1.6 billion Hindus chanting to Vishnu or Shiva. Faith is everywhere. But what are these beliefs built on? Stories. Beautiful ancient stories like tooth fairies for grown-ups. A man walking on water. A sea splitting in two. A god with an elephant head. Magical, yes, but can they stand the test of physics? Chemistry? Biology? Richard Dawkins calls these delusions. Not because they're evil, but because they crumble under the weight of evidence. Let's be real for a second. Every religion has its miracles, its tooth fairy tales. The Bible says the earth was made in 6 days. The Quran speaks of heavens splitting apart. Hindu texts describe flying chariots and talking monkeys. These stories shaped empires, inspired art, gave hope. But science, it demands proof. Dawkins writes, "The God hypothesis is a scientific claim, one that fails every test. A flood covering the whole earth? Geology says no. A virgin birth? Biology shakes its head. These aren't just gaps in knowledge, the laws of nature don't bend for faith. And yet billions cling to them. Why?" Now here's where it gets personal. We're told religion gives us morality, tells us right from wrong. But does it? Look at history. Over millions of years humans built societies, learned to care, to share, to love, not because a book told us to, but because we had to survive. Dawkins argues in that our morality evolved, our genes pushed us to cooperate, to feel empathy. We didn't need a commandment to know killing is wrong, we felt it in our bones. But religion? Too often, it puts faith over fairness, crusades, jihads, caste wars. When belief trumps humanity, the world burns. Today, the best societies, think Scandinavia, Japan, thrive on humanized morality, not holy books. Laws protect people, not dogmas. Meanwhile, religious folks, Dawkins says, often hide behind faith instead of facing facts. It's not morality they're chasing, it's certainty. And that certainty, it divides us. Now let's flip the coin. Science doesn't promise paradise, but it delivers miracles. The wheel, electricity, vaccines, space travel. Who gave us these? Not prophets, not priests, people who dared to question. Dawkins points out every breakthrough, penicillin, the internet, flight, came from rational minds, not religious ones. Galileo defied the church to prove the earth moves. Darwin dismantled creation myths with evolution. The faithful fought them, but science won. Why? Because it works. It doesn't need faith, it gives us proof. Some say, oh, religion and science can coexist. Dawkins begs to differ. He writes, they're fundamentally incompatible. Religion says the universe was designed with purpose. Science says it's a product of blind laws, natural selection, physics, chance. You can't have both. One demands belief without evidence, the other thrives on doubt. When religious folks claim their faith-inspired science, look closer. Those pioneers were often rebels, not devotees. The telescope didn't come from prayers, it came from curiosity. But here's what breaks my heart. Religion promises peace, yet it's fueled so much pain. Wars over gods, women oppressed under divine rules, children taught fairy tales over facts. Dawkins asks, why do we let these stories hold us back? Out of 8 billion people, 5.5 billion cling to faith, yet our greatest leaps, medicine, equality, freedom, came when we let go. Imagine a world where those billions asked why instead of who. What could we achieve? So where do we stand? 5 billion believers, holding on to stories that don't add up. A billion agnostics, searching for truth, and science, quietly, relentlessly, showing us the way. Dawkins leaves us with this: we don't need God to be good, to be awed, to live fully. The universe is enough. Maybe it's time to let go of the tooth fairy, not with anger but with courage, to build a world not on faith but on facts, and on each other. What do you think? Can we outgrow religion? Drop your thoughts below. If this moved you, hit that like button, share it, and subscribe. We've got more stories to tell. Until next time, keep questioning.